Pete Crow-Armstrong and the Cubs back in action this afternoon as they take on the Philadelphia Phillies. And look at what Pete Crow-Armstrong has done. F4 leaders. I don't have to tell you what F4 is. We all know. But this is a huge sample size. Since August 1st of last year, look at the company he is keeping with. Aaron Judge, Corbin Carroll, Bobby Witt Jr., and Pete Crow-Armstrong at 3.8. And PCA joins us now here on MLB Central.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go. Pete, thank you very much for the time. How would you describe how things have been going for you and your club? It seems like the fans are falling in love, not only just with you, but with this ball club. How would you describe the current state of things there in Cubland?
Oh, man. Good to see all you guys, by the way. It's nice being in Cubland as much as we've been in the last, week and a half, 2 weeks. Things are going great. We've had a really tough schedule to start, and we're playing a lot of really good teams with some good staffs and bullpens, but it's been a whole squad contribution from the Cubbies, from the top to the bottom. We're hitting and we're playing in a lot of close games, and coming out on top in a lot of those. So, being able to look back at a lot of these series and evaluate and be able to say that we took 2 or 3 from a bunch of good teams it's a really nice feeling and a lot of good momentum to keep carrying on.
I know you're going to be humble, and I know it's early. And I've seen that place get set on fire before, 2007, 2008, back in the day. You remember that. But, Pete, you hitting that bomb the other day, you slide into home, they're feeling you. You have to feel it. That the place, I know you want to stay humble, but this place is feeling your energy.
Yeah, absolutely. You can actually thank Vidal Brujan for the raise the roof.
Really?
Yeah, you're bringing that back, huh?
Brujan got here, and his first knock, he just got up from second base after he hit a double and just did it, and we all loved it. So, I have seen some video replay of the crowd joining in on that too. It's pretty electric. It's great.
And Pete, D-Row always says you are some version of what you were in high school. We saw your video, how free you were. What's the most impactful change you've made to your swing?
Oh, gosh. I would say that this offseason definitely held the most impactful swing change, which was cutting down on a lot of the work we tried doing on an actual swing change itself, and kind of putting the focus in grounding myself. I think consistency has been so hard for me to find at times in the box, and it's always hard when you're not swinging at good pitches, but I just kind of found a way to put myself in a repeatable position that achieves a certain amount of athleticism I like to have in the box, and I think finding that consistency was definitely the outlier to me in terms of any change that I've made.
Pete, Sean Casey, man, I'm so fired up to see you doing as well as you're doing. I remember just coaching you at the Futures game. It seems like yesterday, dude. I was like, this kid's going to be a stud. And then watching you come up has been incredible. For me, when I came up in the big leagues, there were certain guys like Barry Larkin or some of the veteran guys that I kind of looked at. I was like, I want to see how they do their work and what they do. And you got guys like Kyle Tucker and Ian Happ and some of these guys. What have you learned from those guys about how they go about their everyday business?
A lot. I've had a lot of really good veteran presence around me since 23, since when I really came up, and what I've loved kind of figuring out is that everybody's got their own thing. Kyle Tucker does it a little bit differently than Ian Happ, but everybody is so true to what they know and what they've seen works for them. So Kyle's kind of the guy who you see do a little bit less. I'm at that stage right now where I kind of do a little bit more than Kyle Tucker, but it's simple. It's always simple with everybody, and I've enjoyed seeing everybody in their working space, because it's like that's their quiet time. That's where they have control over the baseball and kind of how it's moving, and that's the coolest part is seeing guys being able to separate work from play, and it's hard enough going out there for 162 or that's the goal at least every year, I guess, and being able to kind of make it easier on yourself, just set yourself up to play 9 innings. That was kind of the clearest thing when looking at guys like Kyle or Dansby or Ian is being able to maintain their health, and then from there just being able to go out and be themselves and hit a lot of homers.
Yeah, talk to me about that. The one thing, when I came and did the 30-15 at Sloan, I was having a conversation with Justin Turner and Dansby and all those guys, but I was fixated on your short
toss. He's in
love with you. And it was loud noises, bud. And now you're
Yeah.
going oppo, and you're hitting some balls to places that I don't think people thought you were going to hit them to. Did you always have the pop and we're kind of waiting on Lockett?
Maybe. If my buddies were just giving me some guff about this the other day, some high school friends, they were kind of reminding me that I didn't really have the juice in high school.
How does that happen?
But I guess to your question, maybe I did have it in there somewhere. I definitely didn't know how to utilize it. But JT is someone I should have mentioned in the last question, just because that guy is about as routine oriented and focused as anybody. I mean, being able to use the other side of the field is I think it's anybody's kind of secret weapon.
Did you know you clipped that one the other night?
I knew I got it good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I got it good enough to get into the basket, but I mean, thankfully I did. The wind wasn't really relevant at that point in the game, so that was nice. But I mean, yeah, the left side of the field, the left center gap's kind of always been in my back pocket. That's always something I've done well in terms of like directional hitting.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the pop really to get it out until recently, and I started getting stronger and kind of getting to know myself a little bit better in the weight room as well.
I want to know about you, the person. Ideal day. What's it look like? No baseball.
Ideal day, I'm out on the golf course for at least 18 holes.
You good?
No.
Comes with age.
I can, yeah, I've heard. No, I can get around the golf course without wanting to freak out most of the time. But no, I'm out on the golf course or I'm playing with my dog or something like that. I like to keep it simple and but I got a lot to do in Chicago. There's a lot of good places to eat and I always like going to a good dinner. So.
I've heard you talk about your musical tastes, and it's an eclectic mix.
What do you got?
I know for a while your walk-up song was Bone Thugs and Harmony, first of the month. You're also a big fan of Casey Musgraves. I see what you're doing there. I mean, what's your walk-up song now?
My walk-up song now, I think I had 3 the other day. That was an accident. I don't know if I've earned the 3 walk-up song status yet, but no, I got this song called Front to Back by Levity. They're some group of like kind of harder EDM, like almost dubstep.
Yeah.
But they got a few really cool songs that I like a lot. And then I did Still Boomin' by Larry June, he's like this artist from the Bay. That was a big listen of mine in high A couple years ago. And then Little Dark Age by the Management or MGMT. So yeah, it's kind of all over the place, but I just like listening to whatever sounds good, as silly as that sounds.
What's PCA having for breakfast?
Today I had bacon, eggs, and some potatoes, little iced coffee.
You're an iced coffee guy.
Iced
Just
coffee.
good old American breakfast.
If you were a
Iced
bird, what kind of
Americana.
bird would you be?
I mean, we already know the reason we asked
You
this
even asked.
because we
Just
know
remember,
the answer.
you're
Look at this. You're a hummingbird.
I turned you into a hummingbird. Yeah. You're not a crow because you're twitchy, dude. Hey.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that actually. No, that's my mom's favorite bird. Funny enough.
Oh, nice.
We used to get a lot of hummingbirds in our backyard growing up. But I'd be a falcon.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'd be a falcon.
That's a good one.
When they play
Yeah.
Go Cubs Go, what's the first thing you think?
Happy
Oh,
day.
we just won a ball game. I'm going back into the clubhouse and jumping around and hugging Michael Bush and my teammates.
Hey, Pete, you are a lot of fun to watch, man.
Yeah,
And your
we love
Chicago
you,
Cubs are playing outstanding. Congratulations on all the success thus far. Good luck today against the Phillies, and good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully we can catch up with you real soon.
JP Morosi makes some ravioli and settle in on the inside corner. Good morning to you. Skeens, born in California, a fan of the Angels growing up by way of Air Force, going back to Southern California. It's all coming full circle. Good morning.
Lauren, good morning. Less than 12 hours from right now, Paul Skeens will be on the mound at Dodger Stadium. Not that we're counting here. This is a big deal. We've got this game on MLB Network, and we cannot wait to see some of the great talents in baseball all on one field. And you think about Skeens, he is the must-see attraction of Major League Baseball this season. And, oh, by the way, the first batter he's likely to face tonight, Shohei Ohtani. That's not a bad way to begin your weekend. And I love this, too. In the previous segment, you saw some highlights of Matt Chapman, a key reason why the Giants are playing so well. Well, how about this? There are 3 graduates of El Toro High School in Southern California who are in the major leagues right now. Skeens, Nolan Arenado, and Matt Chapman, 3 stars. And how about this from the El Toro High School Instagram account? There is catcher Paul Skeens, Division I, first team All-CIF. There he is at the plate.
so
Remember,
thin.
he was a catcher, yes. He certainly has filled out since then, added some strength when he was at the Air Force Academy in LSU. But there he is, his future plans. Notice at the bottom of that screen, Lauren, Read that carefully. Attend the United States Air Force Academy and play baseball.
Check.
There was no indication of being the biggest star in baseball less than 5 years after this photo was taken. So just a really unique storyline. Skeens actually has pitched at Dodger Stadium once before, but this is the bright lights of a Friday night, and he's pitching only 50 miles away from where he went to high school there at El Toro. I reached out to his high school coach, Mike Gonzalez, and said, hey, coach, are you going to be at the game? He said, no, we got a game at 3:15 on Friday ourselves. So El Toro's going to be playing and certainly watching the Skeens game after their game wraps up.
Mike's just thinking I'm the greatest, coaching all these stars, right?
Those three guys in the big leagues. It's unbelievable.
Sharing the mound with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I didn't realize, Robert and I were talking about this in the commercial break, that no one is starting on normal rest in LA. How do we get here for the Dodgers?
Lauren, it really is remarkable. So we think about standard rest in MLB, and certainly we've seen more teams go to 5 days of rest when possible. But the 5-man rotation, that means 4 days of rest. Zero games for the Dodgers all season long have featured a starting pitcher on 4 days rest. Ben Kasperius started the previous game. It's actually less than 4 days rest, but it was a bullpen game for him. He went 2 2/3. This is an issue for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's not just the amount of rest, but also this. The Dodger rotation has accounted for the fewest innings pitched of any starting pitching group in baseball this year. And injuries, obviously a key reason why. Blake Snell is on the IL, and his progress has been halted because of some ongoing soreness. Yamamoto and Sasaki, they actually learned because as their workload is getting adjusted to the North American schedule, they're actually starting not on 5 days rest, but on 6 days rest so far this season. It's creating a lot of pockets in the Dodger rotation where Dave Roberts has to go with bullpen games. And while there's optimism about Kershaw and Gonsolin too, it's just been a struggle for the Dodgers. And you wonder at what point in time will this really catch up to them. Now, in fairness, they actually had the fewest number of starts on regular rest or less last year. And, of course, they still won the World Series. But even in 2024, Lauren, 7 starts were on regular rest or shorter than that went at least 5 innings. So traditional starts were 7 out of 162 last year for the Dodgers. It's a really hard way to win.
It is the opposite of what you would think for the LA team. We have Dodgers late night. First game of the Friday schedules on the north side of Chicago. You were there earlier this week, and I'm told to ask you what you were up to. Dare I ask? What do we got?
So, Lauren, here we go. So I told our travel department on our way to the showcase game Wednesday, I don't need any flights. I'm a Midwesterner. I'm driving. Part of the reason was
I've been in the car
I wanted
with you,
to see.
JP.
Yeah, I wanted to drive, and I wanted to see some high school ball, Lauren, to stay connected to the youth levels of the game. So there I was Tuesday night in Oak Park, Illinois. Oak Park River Forest versus Downers Grove North. And as the Classic is unfolding at Wrigley, I'm watching one here. How about this? Kevin Campbell, the coach of Oak Park, pinch hits Peter Farron with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th inning. Lauren, I saw a walk-off grand slam at a high school game. There's a celebration. So young Peter Farron hits a walk-off grand slam. He's actually going to play at NYU next year. And on base at the time, Ethan Moore. Now, I wanted to watch Ethan play. He's one of the best Midwest high school baseball players for the draft this summer. And so I wanted to ask Ethan after the game about both his teammate Peter Farron and also Ethan's experience playing in the Hank Aaron Invitational. Take a listen.
So he is not a guy who steps away from competition. So like he goes out, plays his hardest, so hustles everywhere, and he's just like a really good teammate. So just like a wonderful guy, just in all. Oh, it was amazing. So being around like so amazing athletes, so people that overall just look like me. So it's just like amazing experience. So build like a lot of connections, a lot of friendships. A lot of the coaches mentored me through the whole process. Just like that whole like days was just completely worth it.
I was so impressed by Ethan Moore. Here is his bio page. Committed to Tennessee. Really good switch hitter. You see it there, compact swing. Love the way he played shortstop. And you saw that the last play we saw on the highlight. It was a line out to first base. He still sprinted through first base. There was a play earlier in the game. He knocks down basically an infield single in the 5-6 hole, knocks it down. Presence of mind, gets up, makes a perfect throw to home plate to get the out. I just was really impressed by Ethan's intangibles in addition to the skills. And Lauren, I love walking around the ballpark. People there are fans of MLB Central saying that they love watching our show. It's just great to stay connected to the amateur game. And so we thank Oak Park coach Kevin Campbell, Ethan Moore, and again, Peter Farron, walk-off grand slam. How about that?
It is official. You love baseball more than everyone. If I go to Chicago, I'm going to Rooftop Bar. You're going there. You're unbelievable, JP. Thank you so much for sharing. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you on Monday.